previous game. Playing with more confidence, a more determined Zesco and Ndola outfit this time around. They are simply not going to allow Mamelodi Sundowns to dictate and control proceedings like they did on Sunday. If they simply allow Mamelodi Sundowns to play their style of football freely, then it's going to be a long afternoon for the Zambians, and that is exactly what they've recognized. Good pressure from Lambo, who also had a fantastic showing against Sane into the box. Might it break for Mtandi again? She's beaten to it by Ndlovu. Now Jacqueline Chomba, Lambo, Biana, Rabale, there's space. Oohs and ahs ringing around the ground. This is what Mamelodi Sundowns are good at. Delicate interplay in the pockets, manufacturing their own space. Tolakele might have been the better option for Rabale in that example. Kakubela. Charge down. Chance for Zesco and Ndola girls. Came with Makubela last, making amends for giving the ball away. Corner kick opportunity nonetheless. Charity Mubanga is proving to be some handful already. An experienced Banyana international, caught on the ball for far too long. Topwa, what can she offer now? Piri goes for it. Too much elevation. She'll be a threat throughout this contest for Mamelodi Sundowns. Tolakele, Biana, closer forward. Ramalepe delivers to Magia, who challenges in the air. Hazel Nali drops it, and then Rabale goes for it, and then clatters into the goalkeeper. Always second favourite to that ball, Botumelo Rabale, but you don't blame her for taking it on, and some brave display by the goalkeeper there. Might have been impeded with Magia leaning into her. These days you can't lay a fingertip on the goalkeeper. Pampanani Mbane. Here is Rabale with the no-look pass. And Hadebe, Mtandi, just across the face. Sundowns back to front in the nick of time. A quick and concise Mamelodi Sundowns attack, started by that ball by Biana, and then Mtandi, who didn't have options in the middle, but she wasn't to know, and I don't know if she was going for the cross or perhaps looking to stick the ball in. So the virtual assistant referee is back and running. And the referee is just confirming that bit of news to respective captains. The VAR is back and Big Brother is watching again. Mamelodi Sundowns in no rush to take this free kick. Perhaps they've got a plan. Sane and Rabale relaying that plan. Doesn't seem as if it's going to be Esane anymore. Rabale puts it through and evaded everyone's grasp. Took us all by surprise there by that free kick routine. And Makubela just couldn't quite adjust her body in time. Seems like it actually came off Piri. Sundowns have been on a terrifying tear in the goal scoring department in this competition. 11 goals in their previous 3 matches, but Zesco and Ndola have been just as impressive when it comes to goal scoring. Charity Mubanga into the box. Piri just couldn't make the most of that chance. Difficult for a diminutive player like herself, who wants it to feet, ideally. Perhaps could have nodded that one to Ndlovu. They are committing bodies forwards, Zesco and Ndola. In that example, there were 3 or 4 players dressed. Ramalepe looks to throw it down the line, and Pini reads it. Sane got away with one there. Biana. Ramalepe in a whole lot of room to whip in the cross to Magia, who couldn't get a toe on it. Every time she's in space like that, Ramalepe. Esane looks to keep it alive. Ramalepe, that is sumptuous. Is Rabale onside? She sticks it away and the flag has stayed down. Rabale scores just like she did on Sunday against Zesco and Ndola girls. It's been a tough first half so far. They couldn't find a way through. And eventually, Boitumelo Rabale doing so for the Brazilians. It was always destined to be her. Questions around whether she was onside or not, but great piece of skill by Ramalepe. And as you can see there, when the ball was delivered, Ramalepe was onside. But is Tolakele interfering with play, maybe? Is she interfering with the goalkeeper's vision? That's VAR's decision, but Rabale was definitely onside, took it down very nicely and stuck. Mamelodi Sundowns capturing a slender 1-goal advantage over Zesco and Ndola girls, and Godfrey Sepula has chosen to take the proactive approach to introduce Isabella Ludwig, who's been making substitute appearances all competition long, and she will come on now to replace Ndola Esane. Isabella Ludwig will slot into that midfield. Yet to score a goal in this competition. She came close to doing so against Malawi's in Topwa. And she's got a full 45 minutes for the first time in this competition to express herself. She is, after all, still a new signing, still finding her way in that Brazilian jersey, but there is so much talent there. As for Zesco and Ndola girls, is the comeback, is a fight back on the cards. They lost by a single goal to nil against Mamelodi Sundowns in round 1 in the group stage. They will want to avoid that same fate this afternoon, because if they can't, they will crash out of the competition, head back to Zambia, having made some history, having qualified for the semi-final stage at the first time of asking. As tournament debutants, they really have played with a lot of belief, and they've ruffled a few feathers. Not many expected them to perhaps be here, especially after their defeat against Mamelodi Sundowns in the group stage, but they progressed with Sundowns to these semi-finals, as Ludwig combines with Magia, and Ludwig is on the overlap on the other side, and Magia finds her way inwards. Rabale is always looking to turn, always looking to fire in a shot. Hadebe does that, and she fires without purpose. So beaten twice already in this competition. Hazel Nali by the same player, by Boitumelo Rabale. Not the greatest goal kick. Tolakele asks a lot of Isabella Ludwig, and her run just forced Judith Soko to kick the ball out into touch, providing Mamelodi Sundowns a corner kick opportunity. They did score 3 goals from 3 different corner kicks, and Mbane getting on the end of those, of all 3 of those corner kicks. So she'll without doubt be a target for Rabale to pick out, and Bambanani Mbane will be a target to mark for Zesco and Ndola girls. It's up towards her, and the goalkeeper read it. She got a good punch on it. Ludwig, Fortuné heels. Piri. That's some challenge there by Biana. Breaks kindly for Penelope Mulubwa. Pass wasn't quite there. Well, she is delaying play, is Dlamini. She delayed play a number of times in that first half, which allowed Zesco and Ndola girls to settle back into their shape and to cause Mamelodi Sundowns a few problems in their intent to play out from the back. Sana Hadebe challenged. Piri did not give up the chase. Makubela did encounter a knock in the first half. She's back on her feet, and she also didn't start the first match for Mamelodi Sundowns, wasn't involved in that first match against Mtopwa, but she's been involved, and she's started every game since for Mamelodi Sundowns, as has Mtandi in this competition. She's been slightly off the boil this afternoon. Sale looks ahead, looks for Magia, fails to find her. Magia was a little bit naughty there. The only time she did score was against Ntopa. She scored the third and final goal in that match. She's a decent goal poacher, is Magia, but she's also very good at stringing and combining passes together with her teammates in and around the box. More like a false nine than anything else. Free kick in a central zone here for Zesco and Ndola girls. Might just be in Jacqueline Chomba territory. She usually tends to take the free kicks that are a bit further outside of the box. Three clean so far in the competition for Dlamini. 3 clean sheets on the bounce. Can she make it 4 from 4? When they last featured in this competition, she did only concede the 1 goal. This time around, she's looking to go 1 better. Zesco and Ndola girls, led by Piri, will not give up the fight. It's going to be Piri. She's going for it, and Dlamini catches it very nicely. Her eyes were peeled, and she caught it without fault. Difficult catch, with the ball bobbing and weaving in the air. But she is South Africa's #1 goalkeeper for very, very good reason. Kubela. No nonsense clearance from the defender, and Ludwig just misjudges the bounce of the ball. Piri up against Makubela again. Difficult back pass for Dlamini to deal with, but she did ever so well to concede a throw-in instead of a corner kick or something worse. Balya. Piri. Good delivery that was from Piri. Mulubwa. Milam Lambo. On the aerial duel against Ramalepe. Booting it high towards Jacqueline Chomba, who has changed her position. A little bit more of a midfielder now, instead of a defender. Piri nearly snuck that one through the legs of Hadebe to Charity Mubanga. More of a defensive display this time around from Masanda Hadebe. She's been more of an attacking fullback throughout the competition. Different role for her this afternoon. Different kind of Zesco and Ndola challenge. Penelope Mulubwa, good ball from her. The touch wasn't what it needed to be, but Dlamini has parried it. Dlamini has made a howler. Zesco and Ndola equalize. Piri strikes. Count them out at your own peril. Out of the blue, Zesco and Ndola girls equalize through their star lady. Through the lady that was always going to make an impact on a day like today. And now we've got a game on our hands. Beautiful pass that was from Penelope Mulubwa, and then we thought Dlamini might have had it covered. She should have had it smothered and covered. But it slipped out of her grasp. In fact, she caught it and then her knee just bumped the ball out of her grasp. And Piri was on standby where she needed to be. And she was never going to miss from there. A fox in the box, a real poacher's instinct. And to make matters worse, Mamelodi Sundowns have another lady down. They would have been motivated, inspired, galvanized during the halftime team talk. And for the first time in this competition, Mamelodi Sundowns have conceded because of that lady. I was just alluding to the fact that Dlamini was seeking 4 consecutive clean sheets. Not to be. She was to blame for allowing Zesco and Ndola back into this game. And those are the kind of things that can happen in semi-finals. Goals from nothing, and goals to make the tie ever more interesting. 1-1. Biana. Maybe going for goal, maybe just looking to put Zesco and Ndola nice and deep in their own half. But Zesco deserved that goal for their first half performance, for how present they were in the match. They were in the passenger seat too often in their first match against Mamelodi Sundowns. This time they've taken the game to Sundowns. And they haven't allowed them to play their usual stuff with the usual freedom Mamelodi Sundowns are greeted with. There's movement on the Sundowns bench. 1 goal already in this second half. Charity Mubanga. Sundowns worried and Sundowns stretched defensively. Didn't come off Makubela last. The final touch coming off Charity Mubanga. Testing times now for Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. Just to remind you that they have played in every single edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Without fault, without mistake. They've always been there in that continental competition that brings together the best teams from around the African continent. Mamelodi Sundowns have always represented this southern region, but for the first time, their status in that competition is vulnerable, and it hangs in the balance. And it would be a real shock not to Women's Champions League, considering that they've won this competition twice before. They've won that competition twice before. And if they want to be a part of the CAF Women's Champions League this year, they're going to have to fend off a inspired, a rejuvenated Zesco and Ndola. Piri. Here's Tolakela, yet to really get stuck in this match. Mubanga has done so. Ludwig just knees that one to Ramalepe, who took no chance. Penelope Malubwa. Ludwig to Dlamini, gives the ball away to Milam Lambo. Charity Mubanga. Bambanani and Bane got there first. Not the greatest of matches this is proving out to be for Dlamini. A game riddled with too many unforced errors. That's a free kick against Biana and Sundowns. The two-time former champions of this competition, really being tested. And she's a bit too complacent. Time for a substitution. Time for Frida Kabwe. Started the first match for Zesco and Ndola girls, a consistent and constant substitute appearance maker, and she's going to come on now to replace Mila Mlambo. Scored a beauty against Ntopwa, and she was full of running today, and Frida Kabwe is also an energizer bunny herself. Let's see how this one will go. Ndlovu hits it against the Sundowns wall. Rabale looks for Magia. Magia's pulled back. That should be a yellow card. Well, the pulling back of the shirt. No cards just yet. Magia. Rabale used her body to good effect, and Ndlovu was the lady that committed the foul. The ones that sting the most are the ones that you don't really anticipate, and I don't think Rabale was anticipating that blow. But it seems like the lady that committed the challenge is in a much worse state. So 4 goals in semi-final number 1, 2 goals in this second semi-final. Ramalepe striking first for Sundowns in typical Rabale fashion. And then this happened. Piri profiting off a Dlamini howler. Unfortunate and a lucky break for Piri. But you create your own luck. You create your own luck by presiding in positions like that. This is what happened to Ndlovu. She committed the foul on Rabale, and then I think maybe when Rabale went down, she perhaps landed on Ndlovu, and that's what has caused the pain for Ndlovu. Excellent atmosphere in the stands. The people know that this is a real, proper contest in the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. It's a match of magnitude, continental proportions. Remember that bragging rights are at stake. Who will rule supreme in this southern African region? Sundowns have done so twice before. Zesco and Ndola hope to do so for the very first time in their history. Godfrey Sapula is not at all happy with Rabale and what she chose to do with that free kick. Tandi. Tolakele. Good pass there to Rabale. Now Magia, huge chance. She steps on the ball instead of guiding it, just setting up a better chance. Tandi goes past Chomba. Ludwig is there, together with Rabale. There's Biana, wow, what a spin. Tolakele. Tandi faces up against Piri. Tolakele, not a cross, not a real strike at goal either. So it is a lot more open in the second half, just like we expected it to be. Penelope Malubwa. Ndlovu is back. Rabale cushions it down. Tolakele does the same. Rabale to Magia. She's going to take on Piri. Or she'll look for support. She does the latter. That's a goal kick. That Sundowns attack is not really playing with the kind of belief we saw them play with in the group stages. Usually Magia would put her head down, take on her marker, skip past the outside, put a cross or shot into the box. That time around, the move just lost its steam. Here's Frida Kabwe. All square, with about 25 minutes still to come in this second semi-final. Magia from the edge of the box. Tolakele virtually from the corner flag, not reaching Isabella Ludwig. Look at Charity Mubanga go. Look at the commitment and the determination. Piri. No offside from the throw-in. Kabwe onside. It should be a corner kick. It's going to be a corner for Zesco and Ndola girls. Feeling the pace of the game now is Asana Hadebe. Mamelodi Sundowns have quickly realized that this is not the same Zesco and Ndola side they encountered just a few days ago. Piri delivers over the head of Dlamini, over the head of everyone else in the box. It's going to be picked up here by Ndlovu. Ndlovu finds Kabwe on the bicycle. Mamelodi Sundowns are being taken into deep waters. But can Zesco and Ndola girls keep them there? Kabwen flicks it on. Ramalete. Ludwig from deeper. Penelope Malubwa, Charity Mubanga. Piri took a blow to the face, it seems like. Scored Zesco and Ndola's first goal of the competition against Mtopwa last week, Friday afternoon. And she has scored their latest goal in the competition. Zesco and Ndola are performing ever so well, especially if you consider that their captain is not in attendance. Their captain being Chitundu. It's good to see so many faces packed in the stand here at the A.W. Miller Stadium. It's a rather picturesque ground, if I do say so myself. Always attracts good crowds. And you cannot ask for a much better backdrop than that one. So Mamelodi Sundowns, magnificent 7 against Namibia's Beauties on Tuesday. Was the first time Sundowns scored 7 goals or more in this competition since 2023, when they defeated Olympique de Moroni by 8-0 in the group stage of that competition. And coincidentally, Makubela, another centre-half, scored a hat-trick, just like Mbane managed to do on Tuesday afternoon. Goals are more difficult to come by this afternoon, however. And in Sundowns' first match against Zesco and Ndola, they might have only defeated the Zambians by a 1-0, but it was one of the most dominant 1-0 displays you will ever see. Entirely different match this time around. That 1-0 scoreline didn't tell the full story on Sunday afternoon. But this 1-1 scoreline is completely fair if you consider the balance of play and how it's gone so far. Magia does cause the foul. A whole lot of fouls and stoppages, especially in that first half. Not too many so far in this second interval, with 20 minutes to go. Plus stoppage time, as you can see there. They've sent out Mali and Simone Sols and Oratile Mokwena to go and warm up for Sundowns. Ludwig tries to skirt her way through. Tolakele is shut down. Lovo takes on Isabella Ludwig and does so successfully. Bane clears it in the nick of time, just before Charity Mubanga could close her down. There goes Piri. Her first touch is delightful. Still Tolakele, 3 goals in the competition for her. And just like Piri scored Zesco and Ndola's first goal of the competition, Tolakele did so for Mamelodi Sundowns. Just to remind you as well that if the scoreline remains this way, there will be no extra time. Sundowns and Zesco and Ndola will go straight to a penalty shootout. Ludwig, Sanda Hadebe, Rabale, and then Walia. Frida Kabwe. Mtandi. Ludwig playing as a centre-half. Tandi works it nicely to Ntabising Magia. Rabale in the box to try and find. She can only find Hazel Nali. final. This semi-final will be decided by the finest of margins. Will these two teams apply the cautious approach and just wait for the penalty shootouts? It's probably too early to play that way. You would think that both will go for the winner during normal time. You don't want to hand yourself over to fate, because anything can happen in a penalty shootout. I said at the start of the show, at the top of the game, that if Zesco and Ndola are to pull this off, it might just be up there with one of the biggest upsets we've seen in the history of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. But they've got a lot of work to do, a lot of focus still required to fend off Mamelodi Sundowns. And again, not the first time that a Zesco and Ndola girl went in for the sliding challenge, initiated the challenge, and then came off worse for wear after the challenge. Zesco and Ndola did indeed have an interesting match against Ntola the last time they took to the field, because they scored 5 fantastic goals against the Malawians, but then they got complacent, as most teams would do after scoring 5 goals, and Ntola scored 3 goals of their own in the last 15 minutes of that match against Zesco and Ndola. A team that will be hoping that they can avoid that same kind of capitulation in this second half. They folded in the final moments against Ntola. Can't afford to do so against Sundowns, who have a free kick here. Free kick that's taken by Biana. Ludwig wanting a corner kick. Sundowns wanting a corner kick. But it's Zesco and Ndola's ball. Join Mamelodi Sundowns from crosstown rivals Amatux. Lovu stabs it to Frida Kabwe, who was just hoping that her pass would reach someone, and it did. It reached Piri, who goes past Mtandi, and she can only find Isabella Ludwig, but she reclaims the ball for Zesco and Ndola. Outside of the boot pass, Flamini didn't come, and then Ramalepe had to watch it. A good amount of frustration creeping into Mamelodi Sundowns game. Sumptuous first take by Rabale. And then the volley pass was also on the money. Tolakele with the reverse. And Tandi with the run down the left-hand side. She's going to take on Boya. Tandi tries to hand Boya off. Gets a crossing, far from the level of danger it needed to be. Here comes Frida Kabwe. Oh no, Charity Mubanga has pulled up, but she's going to carry on running, and then she goes down eventually. Muscle fatigue starting to set in. Rabale was especially not happy that the referee called playback, the referee being Teresa Sitoko of Lesotho. We did have another debutant from Lesotho, Kick for Life Women's Football Academy, made a splash while they lasted in Group B. A massage for Charity Mubanga. And a substitute for Mamelodi Sundowns. Melinda Khadiete started Sundowns' first 2 matches of the competition. She was out of the starting 11 on Tuesday. She was out of the starting 11 today, and she's going to come on for Utumelo Rabale, which is interesting to say the least. But perhaps Godfrey Sapula sees something that we do not. Rabale, their best players taken off. Mtandi, another one of their best players taken off. Mokoena has come on to restore some composure in the midfield. She might play alongside Isabella Ludwig, or the inclusion of Mokoena might allow Isabella Ludwig to play closer to the strike force. That remains to be seen. Full time of normal time is fast approaching. Penalty shootouts looming if a winner cannot be found. Asana Hadebe to Melinda Khadiete might reach her. It's also interesting to note that when these two clubs first encountered one another on Sunday, Zesco and Ndola might have ended that match with only 30% possession. They also only might have had 1 chance at goal. They were completely controlled, but they are very competitive this afternoon. And it's anyone's game as of right now. Anyone can progress into that finale stage. The final that will take place at 3 o'clock this Sunday. So set your reminders for that one. Whoever is going to join Gaborone United, who defeated Mozambique's Costa do Sol earlier on in the 12 o'clock kickoff by 3-1. Gaborone United were in the lead at half-time, and they made their lead count, unlike Mamelodi Sundowns, who have allowed Zesco and Ndola back into the contest. Yana to Magia. Melinda Khadiete is through for Sundowns. She needs to score. She doesn't. It's a woeful miss. The moment got too big for Melinda Khadiete, who is stuck there in the box like a statue. Zesco and Ndola led off the hook. Mary Mbewe is ready and eager. And here she goes, Mary Mbewe, to replace Charity Mubanga up top for Zesco and Ndola. What an opportunity that was for Melinda Khadiete. Perhaps she's still cold, only recently coming off the bench. But it's difficult to come up with any excuses. Hazel Nali put under pressure by Magia. Seemingly not enough. Ramalepe. Khadiete to Mokoena. Doesn't usually play there for Sundowns, but she does so now. Ramalepe. Piri's header goes back to her goalkeeper, Hazel Nali. It's also, this is the chance then for Melinda Khadiete, who opened up her body way too much. And it's a big miss from such a close range. Wanting to be too precise, too cute with that attempt. But as I was saying, it's rather interesting to note that an all-star 11 of the group stage was released before the semi-finals got underway. 5 Sundowns players feature in that group stage all-star 11, but not a single Zesco and Ndola goal featured in that group stage 11. Sanda Hadebe. Ludwig was rising, as too was Mbane and Makubela. She couldn't quite twist her neck enough and direct her attempt on target. Makubela, a stalwart for club and country. The centre half under pressure to produce. Isabella Ludwig under pressure to produce. And it causes so much frustration and anger from Godfrey Sapula. This is not the team that he presided over in the group stage. Seems like everything they wanted to do in the group stage, they did, and they did so with ease. No one stopped them. They could play and dictate at free will. Not to be in this semi-final. Muluba. And this is the kind of match that always had late drama written all over it. That's audacious stuff there by Ramalepe. Ramalepe does poke it towards Machia. Kind bounce of the ball for her. Melinda Khandiete will look to burst in behind. She does. Can she keep her feet? Can she work in a cross? She doesn't, but her cross doesn't get very far. Biana. Ludwig again caught on her heels. Mamelodi Sundowns, for now, are the owners of a perfect semi-final record in this competition. They've never faltered at this stage before. They've also only conceded the one goal in their 3 previous semi-finals. And they are known to be free-flowing goal-getters, especially in this competition. They've scored 12 goals in this competition already, Mamelodi Sundowns. And they scored 21 goals in the last edition they featured in. It was 21 goals in 5 matches. But their attack has not been as ruthless as before. Two balls on the field. Zesco and Ndola trying to clinch a late one. It would be a huge shock to shock the host team, so to say, although this is far from Mamelodi Sundowns' home ground. They've often travelled here for bouts against the University of Johannesburg Lady Football Club, although they usually play those matches at the Soweto campus. This is in Auckland Park in Johannesburg. And this match also marks the 3rd time that Mamelodi Sundowns are playing against a Zambian club at the semi-final stage. In 2021, in the very first edition of the competition, they defeated Green Buffaloes at this stage by 1-0. And 2 years ago, in 2023, Sundowns again defeated Green Buffaloes at this exact stage. But this Zambian foe, the Zesco and Ndola girls, keeping them at bay for as long as they can. Sanda Hadebe gave it away. Makubela, she's made a mistake. Frida Kabwe, and it's gone in. Zesco and Ndola have snatched a late goal. Another mistake from Makubela, and another mistake by Dlamini. A comedy of errors. And pure ecstasy and celebration for Zesco and Ndola girls, profiting of 2 goalkeeping howlers. You don't have any words for this. Frida Kabwe taking it off Makubela, and then Dlamini with something that we've never seen before today. Mzansi's #1 is having a performance to forget. Frida Kabwe with a goal to never forget. Who would have had this scoreline on their bingo card? The substitute, Frida Kabwe. This would be seismic. This would be historic. Mamelodi Sundowns have only 5 minutes to rescue the situation. Only 5 minutes separate Zesco and Ndola girls from the finals of the CAF Women's Champions League. Magia. Sundowns need magic from somewhere, from somebody. They've been found wanting. And Dlamini was too casual in the first half, and she was too complacent in the second. And Bane again. They don't usually take this long in the football, but they are being punished here by Zesco and Ndola girls. Piri went for it herself. It might be Kabwe again. That should be it. That should be it. Game, set and match, and tickets. Mamelodi Sundowns on the brink of being knocked out of the competition. And Zesco and Ndola girls making history in front of our very eyes. Frida Kabwe making history in front of our eyes. Talk about a match to never forget. A match that will go down in COSAFA qualification history. You are witnessing the end of a Mamelodi Sundowns dynasty in the southern region. Mamelodi Sundowns have never lost a semi-final in this competition before, but they stared down the barrel of a demoralizing semi-final defeat. Mamelodi Sundowns were far from their best, yes, but take nothing away from Zesco and Ndola girls. Defeated in the group stage, but what a response. What a terrific response by William Zulu's Zesco and Ndola. There is to be a goal check, as there always is with VAR in company. If the third goal stands, it would, so to say, be all over for Mamelodi Sundowns. That third goal taking a nasty deflection. A fortuitous third. But there's nothing lucky. Absolutely nothing lucky about this performance by Zesco and Ndola. They've wanted it more than Mamelodi Sundowns, and they didn't make mistakes. They didn't make one single mistake. Did Zesco and Ndola? Mamelodi Sundowns have made 3 of them, and they were punished thrice. What a story this would be. This competition has been captivating since last week, Friday. We anticipated this kind of drama, but nobody would have anticipated Mamelodi Sundowns to bow out of the competition before the finale stage, especially after they defeated Zesco and Ndola girls. Not only did they defeat Zesco and Ndola girls in the group stage, but they completely outplayed the Zambians. And that is the team that they are likely to meet in the final if they can wrap this one up, which they should do. Gaborone United waiting in the final, Zesco and Ndola with 1 foot in the finals. It's 3-1 for now, but the goal check is still on the go. Let's see. She's called to the pitch side monitor. She wasn't. No, this is the first time the referee has gone over to that pitch side monitor, Teresa Sitoko, to have a look at this deflected goal that Frida Kabwe scored. Her second of the competition and her second in just a matter of minutes. So I think they're looking at the player that's in front of Dlamini's eyes. The player that seems to be Mary Mbewe, wearing the number 15. Did she interfere with play? And from that view, you would probably think so, considering that she was right in front of Dlamini. But Dlamini was already on her way down to the ground when Frida Kabwe launched the strike, and then Mbane got a nasty deflection on it. So I don't think it's going to change much. It wasn't going to change anything. But what has she decided? This will be the final blow, the final nail in the coffin for Mamelodi Sundowns, if it stands, which it doesn't. So they've got seconds left to rescue this one, Sundowns. Only 2-1. And not the 3. Mbane goes up towards Mokoena. And it was a bold and brave choice by Godfrey Sapula to take off Boitumelo Rabale and Mtandi with about 15 minutes to go in this game. Sundowns were far from their best today. And their substitutes have failed to make an impact. Sundowns have a free kick. Sundowns are out of time, ladies and gentlemen. William Zulu says it's over. But it's not over just yet. Last chance saloon for Mamelodi Sundowns. It needs to go into the box. It doesn't. The whistle is in the mouth of the referee. She's going to blow it any time now. Mbewe. Look either to keep possession or run to the corner flag. She does neither. Sundowns get the ball back. Biana Tolakele is run out of gas. She doesn't have the energy to continue. For the first time in their history, Mamelodi Sundowns are not going to be playing CAF Women's Champions League football because of a mighty underdog display by Zesco and Ndola. The hometown favorites on the brink of being knocked out. You're so close to the finishing line. Unless if it's really serious, stay on your feet, stay on the field, see out the match. You're so desperately close. Be it as it may. Mulenga will play the last few seconds here for Zesco and Ndola. She'll get the chance to celebrate when that full-time whistle goes. You would think it's only a matter of time. Sundowns here with borrowed time. And finally, we get going again for the last few moments. For the very last moment, in fact, and there you have it, Zesco and Ndola girls with a seismic shock in the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Dreamers, debutants, and now finalists. They are one match away from playing in the CAF Women's Champions League for the very first time. And they've defeated two giants of the game to get here. First, the Green Buffaloes back home, and now Mamelodi Sundowns this afternoon, who will not be playing Champions League football. The ecstasy, the elation, and the despair on show. Muluba, she was brilliant in this match, as too were most of those Zesco and Ndola girls. And perhaps Mamelodi Sundowns thought that they were going to encounter the same Zesco and Ndola team that they did last Sunday. But this is not the same side. And I would like to confirm that the player of the match for this match is Piri. She was the player of the match against Ntopwa in the last round, and she's the player of the match again. Great performance. And she'll be needed in that final between themselves and the returning finalists of last year, Gaborone United. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, set your reminders for that finale showdown on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock between Botswana's finest and Zambia's finest. Zesco and Ndola girls have defeated, they have slayed Mamelodi Sundowns by 2-1. They produced more goal attempts than Sundowns, more shots on target. What a story. Powering the nation, Zesco and Ndola girls, and powering their way through to the final.
Coach, hard luck on the result. It wasn't an easy one, as you said. Your impressions of the match?
Yeah, we knew it was not going to be easy. But if we are honest, I think the better team won today. I think they were better than us. They wanted it more. They fought. They dominated the second balls. I think we're really poor today. I think we didn't deserve to win today. I think, we're really poor. We didn't play well. Yes, but sometimes when you don't play well, sometimes you need to fight a little bit more. But also in that department, they were really better than us. So congratulations to Zesco. I think they deserve to win here today.
Any disappointment of bowing out at this stage of the competition?
Yeah, we are disappointed, obviously. I mean, with our ambitions, we wanted to make sure that we correct what happened in the CAF Champions League last season, and unfortunately it's not to be. So we're really disappointed.
And Coach, it's back to the domestic league for you. What lessons are you taking back there?
Yeah, well, we're a team that wants play to win every match. You know, we are disappointed, but it doesn't mean we cannot go there, refresh, get the renewed energy, try to make sure that we regroup as soon as possible, and we try and make sure that we get back on track and win the game, so that we're able to win the domestic league, so that we have a chance next season again to play COSAFA, and we try and rectify what happened here today.
Thank you, Coach. Hard luck and all the best going forward.
Thank you.
That was Coach Godfrey making way for winning coach, Coach William of the Zesco and Ndola girls, making history here this afternoon, booking a place in the finals of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. At the first time of asking, Coach, congratulations. At the start of the game, you said your ladies can turn the tables around, and they did exactly that. Your impressions of the match?
Today the girls came positively, because the first game we played, as I said, we didn't know how Sundown plays. We have been just watching them on the television. Then some people there in Zambia know if you go, they'll score you. So the time we came in that league, we wanted to defend. The worst result was maybe we come out with a draw, but we failed. Then these 2 days we played our usual game. This is the game that we play. Yes.
Coach, it's a Botswana and Zambia final on Sunday. You caught a bit of the semi-final earlier on. What are you expecting in that match?
The coming match.
Yes.
I know it will be very difficult than this one because they have been there watching us, and I know it's a good side. It's not pushovers, but we just have to come and work hard so that we get our positive results.
And how do you manage your players' fatigue here? This coach here, the match here this afternoon wasn't an easy one.
Yeah, that was a problem, but we managed them by giving them yesterday. The other day, we gave them 100%. With the resting, so they didn't do anything. Yesterday we came, we trained, and today they have delivered.
Congratulations, coach. See you on Sunday.
Thank you very much.